Hello. It's a very rainy day where I am, so I decided to do this message because I feel like whenever it's raining or cloudy, it's like safe passage. Something can kind of fly through under the radar without being detected, and sometimes things have to be protected in order to be delivered. Like got this Amazon package, and they always ask you, do you want the packaging? And I always say yes, like give me the packaging. And this package delivered the other day with no box over top of it, and it to show everybody like exactly what I bought. And I couldn't believe it. I was almost outraged. I was like, how dare you? Like anybody could have stolen this. Anybody could have just decided that they wanted this because that's the picture of it and it's a very popular item. Like why would you do that? Oh, just so people are so stupid. We got Libra in the house with Jupiter, Sagittarius energy. And then with the second house tried to come in the other day, and I wouldn't allow it. It's the house of Taurus, which would be Hierophant energy, projects, learning. Where's my houses? I'm glad it came out today. This seems like better energy, especially with Jupiter, expansion and growth, with the house of value, material, and self-worth. With Libra, it's like justice prevails or something. Like your self-worth has grown. You know that you are worthy of something. You're worthy of justice. You're worthy for the scales to, so many people have this ability to change people's fate and stuff, and wheel things towards them as opposed to the other person, and they can really like mess with you and your worth and make you feel like you're nothing and that you don't deserve anything. And they could have completely like pissed all over your philosophy of life almost, because they're the Hierophant, they're the teacher, they're the ones that know. And if you don't do it their way, then you're nothing to them and you mean nothing, and you're gonna amount to nothing. And if it's not done this way, and it's very like I almost feel like it's kind of culty. I'm getting that Tiger King series with Doc Antler. And he makes these women come onto his compound and like work 14-hour days, and they marry him, and they all get boob jobs, and they all have to look a certain way and act a certain way. And it's so culty. I'm getting something very culty with this. Now I'm getting Waco in my head. Waco kind of came into my head the other day too. Somebody was talking about it with me, and I was like, I don't want to talk about this. Like, can we talk about something else? She's like a huge documentary buff, so that's why she wanted to talk about it. But because she always wants to tell me something I don't know, so I had to like stem into something. Those people where it's like they find out you don't know something, and then it's just like, oh, they just never shut up about it. Oh my God, I should never have asked you. It's like that. I just saw the star. It's like a connection, like you were starting to get connected with something, and these old people from your past or something, or people that are around you are not letting you get there. It's very hard to expand yourself or your philosophy on life if it differentiates from what you were taught as a child, right? Some people's parents just can't handle They can't handle you learning something else. They can't handle their pride like that, right? Their ego is so inflated because they know that you do what they say to do in this life because you listen to them. They're the master kind of thing. And it's like, I don't know about that. It's like find a new teacher. Ooh, dice that they liked that. 5 of Wands immediately. 10 of Swords with the 10 of Cups. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Wow. Oh, with the sun underneath. I fucking love it. Okay. For one, I just want to show you the contrast of the cards, okay? This is how we read tarot, is when shit like this happens, okay? I'm all of a sudden, like, look at that. On either side of such a hard situation, there's light on both sides. There's the 10 of Cups on one side, but then the 10 of Swords. So it's like it should actually kind of be like this, I think, the way that you see it, because the 10 of Swords needs to be in the past, and the 10 of Cups needs to be in the future. So it could be this way, I'm not sure, but look at that battle that's in between. Okay, the 5 of Wands is a battle. It always is, and no matter what deck, it's I almost feel like with all the snakes in there, it's like, would you even want to put your hand in there to grab those, right? If you didn't know snakes, if you didn't handle them and you didn't know what you were working with, right? It seems like in order to get out of such a bad situation that clearly is overgrown, okay, that has left you in an awkward position, you have to fight to get that freedom back. You have to fight to get to the other side almost, okay? And what I like about it is that the sun is here, which means, you know how I said when it's cloudy, I like to do readings because it's almost as if somebody has the ability to fly under the radar, right? But the sun's right there. So it's like the sun, it wanted to come in reverse. And I mean, I can put it in reverse. It doesn't really matter. The sun is a beautiful card, no matter if it's in reverse or upright. So it's almost like this is the universe saying, we took the sun away so then you could safe passage through without being detected. Anything for this 10 of Swords? Ace of Pentacles in reverse. 4 of Cups. 9 of Cups. So it seems like somebody's been really sad that something hasn't been able to grow because they've been in such an awful situation. It's like being in prison, you know, falsely accused of something and you're just rotting in prison and it's overgrown, you know, like your wishes are right there, but you can't get to them. You can't get to them. You're held back from something. So then the battle comes through. 8 of Wands. I mean, honestly, if you think about this card, the second she moves, each one of those cardinals are going to go. I almost feel like I was going to say all in the opposite direction, but they're just going to all get up and fly. They're most likely all going to go in the same, they're all going to find each other. But as soon as she moves, everything is going to be affected. And that's what I feel like with this 5 of Wands turns into 8 of Wands, because as soon as you draw your wand up, okay, and you make this move, it's going to scare everything. Everything is going to scatter. So it's like, where you think there is possible war, there isn't. There isn't. It's just, you know, and this comes down to, you know, that people that try to scare you, they make it they scare you for a reason. Now I'm getting, honestly, again, back to Tiger King. Every time Travis tried to leave, Joe told him he would like kill him or he would kill himself if Travis ever left the compound. Travis was never allowed to leave the zoo, let alone leave and never come back. Okay, so Travis lived in this prison. Okay, Travis is the one, he accidentally shoots himself in the head, and I don't know if it was really an accident as much as it was fated to happen to him, because if he didn't do that, if that gun hadn't gone off, who knows how long he would have been stuck there for eternity, I heard, because I think he's trapped there anyways. my sister saw Travis in her dreams the other night, and he was still there. He was still there, still going off of, I think now I'm getting Lane Staley. Oh my God, for Alice in Chains. I don't know if you like tried to kill yourself or if you wanted to kill yourself. The reason why Travis showed up in my sister's dreams was because it was an accidental suicide. The gun was not supposed to go off, but I don't know if it was tampered with. I don't know if he just didn't realize, right? Travis knew guns, and for that gun to have gone off, you got to think it was either tampered with, or he was too high to realize, and he was dumb and didn't realize that he loaded it, right? Anything could happen. If you're supposed to cross over, you will, okay? And if you're not, you won't. And I once was working with a man out in Alberta, and he was a train conductor, and he said you wouldn't believe how many people he works with that tried to blow their heads off and pulled back at the very last minute, and now their faces are torn up. Like, 'cause they work for CP Rail, they don't really care, right? And out in BC and Alberta, there's not really a whole lot of trades. You either go into oil or you go into train. You go into some type of automotive, right? There isn't a whole lot of things to do out there, so we kind of stick to they stick to one thing of what they know best, and that's basically machinery, heavy machinery. And he was amazed. Like, it wasn't because you go from one side of the country to the other side of the country, you do meet a lot of people. And he said you wouldn't believe how many people wore bandanas, and this was so pre-COVID, not even funny, right? Bandanas over their faces because they went to cock the gun in their mouth and then they pulled the gun back, right? Because suicide and what Travis was trying to explain in my sister's dreams was that it was an accident, because if you kill yourself, I think there's somewhere that you go, because it might not have been the right time because you chose to take your life at that particular time. It wasn't, I don't think it's really necessarily lined up, although, because I don't really think in most situations you're supposed to kill yourself. Like, you're not put here on earth to kill yourself, to take your own life, right? The elements do that for you. Cancer does that for you, other people do that for you, right? As your exit out of this world. So to feel like you had to take your own life in order to get out of this world, it's like it may trap the soul and somewhere where it's not supposed to be. Okay. So I don't know if you've dealt with suicide for a while, but let me tell you, the sun never went away because there wasn't ever going to be safe travel for you to do it that way. This got deep. We haven't talked about suicide for a while, so. 10 of Cups, 3 of Swords, King of Cups. So going from this really trapped place of feeling everything, it's almost like when you're depressed, it's like you take everything to the extreme. Everything is so much worse when you're depressed. When you're happy, you take things that are depressing and you kind of just go like, well, whatever, things are supposed to happen. There's really nothing we can do about it. Right. But when you're suffering under trauma and you're stuck somewhere, then the smallest thing that happens to you affects you in a huge way. Okay, I just saw, actually, this is coming back to, I just went and watched Inside Out 2, the second one. And this just kind of reflected that. I don't really know. I kind of lost my train as to why it reflected in that way, but it's like dealing with your emotions. Oh yeah, because she hits puberty and it's like sadness touches the keyboard and she just like breaks out into this like crying rage. And no one has really studied the body in a way where we understand where our emotions come from. I think Inside Out as a child's movie is so amazing because it really teaches you all your different emotions and the things that you go through and how your body is almost sometimes at this place uncontrollable. You feel like you can't control anything, but the thing is that you have the controller. You have the ability to turn your mood and change things and do things within yourself that changes the outcome of your everyday on the outside as well. Okay, so I think somebody, and then now I'm getting Alice in Chains again. It's like, I don't know if you were like in chains, you kind of change yourself up in a way where you took things away from yourself because you feel like you didn't deserve them, or you feel like, you know, like there was a long time where I didn't have like animals or anything because I didn't know how to take care of them. I didn't know how to stretch my energy out to care for somebody or something more than myself. Because when you're in healing, you can't possibly think of taking care of something else when you're in such a fragile state. That's why so many parents and people break down with the ones around them, because it's too much to contain. You know, you do these jobs and you set yourself up way too early, and you don't experience life. You don't experience yourself. You don't experience your emotions, right? And how to deal with things. And that's why, you know, so many people's parents change later on in life, and, you know, just, you got to get to the heart of things, right? To know that you carry the chalice, you know, like you are in charge of your emotions, that nobody else can stir that if anything, they either have to put it in or they've got to walk away, because everything is a give and take. Everything. Aww. This Wheel of Fortune has come in the last 3 readings I've done. And what accompanied with the Wheel of Fortune? 6 of Swords. So the truth and moving forward in a situation. Right? That's what the wheel is bringing through, is being able to move. And yeah, it might be scary and you might not know what's underneath you, but to move forward is better than standing still in this energy of just pain. Everything hurting you. Hurting your heart. Right? Because you're a mess. People who are messes go through quite a lot. And there's a couple of pages right there. That's, I think, some of the energy that you've learned to deal with over time, right? The page, what we got, Page of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. So it's like learning how to make money, okay? Putting your resources together, putting your mind to the test. And then Page of Cups would be almost like trying, you know, getting out there, asking some people out, going for some things, taking some shots, right? Sending some love out there, sending some interest out there. And it might sting you. It might sting you. Something might come up and get you, and you weren't really prepared for that. But I also think that somebody's got a very keen eye, and they know how to craft their future. They know how to work with things, you know, they know how to work with energies. So now it's like healing your heart, okay, getting through the battle to understand why you react the way that you do to things, and then realizing that you're completely grounded in your emotions, and that moves you forward. That turns the wheel. Right? It's almost finally to just accept something for the way that it is, and then being like, it's time to go. I can't live like this anymore. And it's always a fight when you try to leave something behind. Right? Because you have to get out of something, and it's hard to get yourself out of things. Right? It's almost harder to get yourself into new things as it is to get yourself out of old things, out of old patterns. Because the second you move, everything changes. And that's what somebody doesn't really know how to deal with, is the emotional wrath of everybody else, right? Like, you obviously do things that are connected to other people, and when they freak out and they lose it because suddenly they don't know what's going on, it's hard for this person to stay grounded, right? Because they can feel other people's emotions. So they've just bounded themselves up. Because, you know, only you can answer that, I guess. 2 of Wands with the 9 of Pentacles. So this 2 of Wands almost wanted to go in reverse, because it's almost like this person can't choose a direction to go. They're at a standstill, but they want to. So it's almost like now they're choosing, okay, I realize that I'm in stagnant energy, and I realize that I'm going to have to fight to get out of it, but it's not a scary fight. It's just a fight. It's an unknown fight. Okay. But for once, just because you're beefing with somebody, it doesn't mean that you ever have to feed into their energy, right? Whatever direction you decide to go, it's financial freedom. It's independence. So you lose something. Okay. And it's like you lose, almost like I feel like a backpack off your back or something, something that you no longer have to take care of. Right. And that's why someone's like, well, I don't know where to go. Like, if I'm going to do this, I want to pick a direction to go. And once you choose that, it's like, you just go. That's what gives you the financial freedom to make the decision. It's almost to know that, like, don't let money hold you back. Right. Like, don't let it, abuse your thoughts or your vision, but don't let it hold you back, because by losing something that you had to pay for before, you now have the option of filling with something else. If not, leave it open, right? It's like all of a sudden, if one of your parents was kind of like financially bound, so you were just like, okay, well, I'll take care of your bills for a little bit. And then you're like, I can't do this anymore. I can't pay your bills and pay mine. Somebody else has to help. So you put the backpack down, and then somebody else picks it up and they'll pay for it for a bit. It's kind of like something like that almost. Like, you don't really know how it's going to be perceived, but to keep doing it is what's hurting you. Right? And it's always like, man, when you take money away from somebody, honestly, like this is just an example, but at a couple years ago, I needed somewhere to live and just clear my head for a bit. And my mother, where she lives, she runs a bed and breakfast. And then under the bed and breakfast is a 1-bedroom apartment that she rents out. And apparently the gentleman that she rents out to is part of like their government housing. She's out in New Brunswick, so every province is different, right? So she gets like a cut from the government, and then she gets part of like his government check too, or something like that. It doesn't equal much. It all equals like $500 or something. It's a small 1-bedroom kind of bachelor style apartment. And I said to her, I was like, I need somewhere to live. Like, why don't I just live in your basement? Like, it's $500 a month. Even I can fucking pay that with no job. Jesus, Mom. And she wouldn't let it go. She wouldn't. I ended up taking a bedroom in her house, and because her father, she wishes, my stepfather, her husband, is a pedophile who hurt me very bad as a child. I lasted 2 or 3 days before I had like a nervous breakdown, because I couldn't live under his roof. He was everywhere. I couldn't get away from him. If I had been in my own space, underneath the house, I wouldn't have had to deal with him, right? As much as being in the house itself. And my mother wouldn't give up that government check of $500. She wouldn't. And then she was like, well, no, I can't just kick him out, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Mom, yes, you can. You give them 3 months notice, and you tell the government your daughter needs somewhere to live. Fucking idiot. She didn't want to do it. And sometimes, just this little tiny itty bitty piece of money, right? These bitches go crazy off of. Even $500, Oh, look at that. I keep trying to put these cards away, and look what's on the bottom. There's the moon. And it's new moon energy right now. So it's energy that like we can pick up, we can see, but at the same time, it's brand new. Okay. It's brand new. Did I put the ball? 2 of Pentacles was flipped up in the middle. Weird. 2 of Pentacles. There's a key. And the seed was there. So honestly, sometimes, and this has happened a lot of times too with me, I will have a really bad run with a restaurant, a really bad run with a company, and I'll just quit with no other job, no backup, no nothing. And then within a week or two, another job pops up and I'm working again. This since COVID, this has happened almost with every single job. Something so fucked up happens. These people are so ridiculous to work for. You wouldn't even believe what I have to do right now in order to get money. It's ridiculous. And as soon as I realize how much I'm being abused and that this is an awful situation and nobody should ever have to do something like this and make what we do and have to deal with people like that, I quit and I tell the universe that I'm better than that and I deserve something better, and something better does come up. So just so you know, fun fact for you. Peace out. Thanks for liking the video and subscribing.